Today we're going to be making some little silverware pouches. Right now I'm stitching, so I have a yard of fabric on the bottom, a piece of batting, and about a half yard on top, and we're only really going to stitch 14 inches of that. I'm stitching a small stipple pattern because I know that some of you think that you can't do fancy things because you don't have Pro Stitcher and you can't do the fancy stitches. So I actually chose to use stipple on this. If you have Pro Stitcher, my advice is to choose a design that is non-directional and shrink it down pretty small, because this is a small project. It's only going to be about 4.5, 5 inches wide, and if it's a big design, you're going to lose it anyways. And we're going to flip the bottom up, so it needs to be, it needs to look good in any direction. All right, back to stitching. My fabric's quilted, and now it's time to trim. Now I'm going to use my top line as my cutting guide. I know that this is just under 40 inches, so I want to get 8 out of this. So I am going to cut just shy of 5 inches for each one of my holders. Okay, so not even, it doesn't even need to be 4.75, maybe like 4 and, what would that be, 7/8? Okay, so let me find 5. I always have to count. Don't laugh at me. I have 8 of these cut. I actually measured this against my silverware. So I have made these 14 inches instead of the 13.5 that I thought. And now I have to decide, do I want it to fold that way? Or do I want it to be like that? Or do I want some of each? Decisions. I think I like this one because I can see this will mostly be covered up. I like the contrast of the green thread on the red, so I think I'll do them this way. Now my next step is to make binding and finish them. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Good morning, I'm back. All right, so the first thing we need to do is I think I really like it this way, but I want to make sure that everything will fit kind of how I think it's going to. Okay, so I have a paper napkin because when I have people over, I usually use a paper napkin. All right, and then I have my knife and my fork and my spoon. So how much? So I kind of like how that looks. So that means that this bottom part needs to flip up about 4 inches. So yesterday I said that I thought that I needed 13.5 and I used it 14. I haven't trimmed any off, so maybe you better leave a little extra because I'm actually using the 14. I need to put a binding piece across this because I don't want that raw edge showing. So I'm going to take a piece of binding that I've made and I'm going to sew it on the back. This doesn't have to be folded over at the ends or anything. You're just going to put it on and you're going to sew it on and flip it. All right, so we have this on. Now, we know that we want this part to flip up about 4 inches. So I am actually going to pin that so it doesn't shift. Now I'm going to put the binding on, and I'm going to put it on the back so that I can flip it forward. And I already folded over one edge and just pressed it. So I'm going to stop right here so that I can fold over this end. How cute is that? Well, thanks for sticking around to watch my project today for Christmas in July. That was a big tradition in my family when we were growing up. My great aunt Marguerite hated to go shopping in the winter, so we had Christmas in July, which I thought was great. There's going to be some more projects coming out, so if you like this one, make sure you subscribe to my channel and go hunt me down on Facebook and Instagram. There's always something fun to see. Thanks again. Take care.